I honestly thought long and hard before making this video. Judging by all the other content people were sharing after the Mackenzie DLC dropped, I'm guessing I'm going to be in the minority here. And if you're one of the seemingly many that love this job, I tip my hat. Continue grinding and enjoy the new content. But for me, I can safely say that after 2 weeks of trying to wrap my head around the new Titan job, I am done. And sure, if they come back with double money again, I'll dive in and give it another go. But for the time being, I'm officially grounding Mr. Guzman. At least for the Titan job anyway. Okay, so why are my tighty whities all in a bunch here? Well, if we back up a couple weeks, I can remember playing this job for the very first time, and after that initial playthrough, I remember thinking to myself, that seemed long. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it for why this was the case. I mean, it's not like it took me hours and hours to complete. It just felt like it took hours and hours to complete. Does that make sense? I mean, there wasn't any one thing that really stood out to me. So from here, I really started to dig in and try to understand why this was the case. Was it because it was too difficult? No, not really. I mean, I'm by no means an expert flyer in GTA, but that really wasn't the issue here. Sure, I had to readjust to flying aircraft, drones, and picking things up with a new helicopter, but that really wasn't the cause of all my grief. I then thought about the actual time spent completing the job. And I find this topic kind of funny because there's many creators out there promoting some very promising results. I just now did a YouTube search for Oscar Guzman Flies Again, and scrolling through the first handful of videos, I see the following. Under 50 minutes. Easy 45 minutes. Best guide 40 minutes solo. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got nothing but respect for all these videos and creators, but I'm here to tell you that there really isn't anything showcased in any of these videos that's going to shave off huge amounts of time. Sure, there's some useful tips and tricks sprinkled in, but to be brutally honest here, these videos are showcasing an expert level player performing expert level maneuvers. I can only speak for myself, but for me, if I really sat down and focused, I could probably get this job done in under an hour. But there's no way I'm completing all 6 of these missions in 40 minutes. I'm just not at that skill level, plain and simple. Okay, so to tie all this back, was it the actual time spent that was turning me off? Well, again, no. Like I said, if I dug in and did a whole bunch of these back to back, I'd feel pretty confident in getting this job completed in roughly an hour. Which, for the money, double money or not, it's right on par with other similar jobs, like the Cluck and Bell Farm Raid and the Dr. Dre contract. So what is it then? Why am I hating on the Titan job so much? And why am I throwing in the towel and walking away after such a short period of time? Well, after playing this job very sporadically over the last couple weeks, it finally dawned on me that this job is loaded with fluff, or as some other people call it, AGL, or Artificial Game Lengthener. It took me a while to finally realize this, but a lot of it wasn't immediately obvious. Now, this isn't a new thing. Video game developers have been using this tactic for a while now, especially in modern gaming where most gameplay occurs online. The goal is all about keeping the player in the game, so to speak. For example, if I'm a developer and I create jobs or missions that only last 2 or 3 minutes, it's not going to keep the player engaged or in the game. They'll just end up moving on or doing something else. Maybe even, heaven forbid, quitting and playing another game. So, what do? Well, I take that 2 or 3 minute mission and add in a lot of mind-numbingly, incredibly easy, boring fluff to extend the mission. In the new Titan job in GTA, well, they've taken this philosophy and dialed it up to about 1,000. For me, it's so bad it's just unplayable. So, what I'd like to do now is just briefly walk through some of the more obvious and painful AGL or fluff moments in each of these missions. So starting things off, we have the up and running mission. And for me, this is one of the 6 that gets a pass. It's, for me, perfect. Your mission is to take out a tower, shoot at a moving plane, collect some crates, and then deliver them to the clients. Straightforward, simple, no added filler, perfect. The second mission is not so perfect. In fact, this is the one where I first started to notice this headache. It's titled simply Mogul, and here's the mission. You need to steal a plane and then carpet bomb some targets. That's it. Way simpler than the first mission, but it's going to take you a whole lot longer. Why? Well, for starters, you need to travel to Bantam Canyon to locate the plane, which is basically the opposite end of the map going west. And once you get there and steal the plane, which takes all of about 10 seconds, you need to, wait for it, fly it all the way back to where you started. And the whole time you're traveling there and back, you're doing absolutely nothing. You're just flying a plane. And yeah, sure, on the way back, you're getting chased and shot at by some enemy aircraft, but the only extra effort you'll be putting into this is stressing out one digit by repeatedly tapping the flares while you're flying. That's it. No need to swerve, fly low, or any of that nonsense. It's just mind-numbing fluff. Alright, next up is the Intel mission. Arguably the worst fluff-generated mission Rockstar has ever created. Don't believe me? Well, here's the mission. You need to fly a drone to 4 servers, go to a shipwreck and steal 4 pieces of cargo, and then deliver them to the hangar. Again, probably a 4 or 5 minute mission, but here comes the fluff. So instead of hacking into a drone that's placed, I don't know, a block or 2 from the servers, you'll need to painstakingly fly this slow-ass drone across a refinery, a busy 4-lane freeway, and then a shipyard, before arriving at the first destination. I mean, you have a speed boost, but you're literally just staring off into space until you reach the first destination. And once you do arrive at each of the 4 servers, the incredibly difficult task required of you is then to simply get close and, you guessed it, wait. And this is only part 1. The next part has you traveling to a shipwreck to steal some cargo. I'm not even going to bring up the driving aspect of these missions, but suffice it to say, expect to do a lot of driving, which again is just adding to the overall fluff. So yeah, the next part is picking up 4 pieces of cargo. Sounds pretty straightforward, and it is, but it seems like it goes on forever when you find yourself either boating your way out to the destination,
Hey, I hope you don't get seasick, huh? I get really seasick. That's why I fly planes. Okay, when you're in the water, search the sea floor for signs of the cargo. Punch it in the face.
or swimming underwater.
Sorry, it makes it very angry. I can't remember which. Oh, and for the official record, I did write on the hangar's application that the new owner should be a strong swimmer. Now you see why.
Other than avoiding enemies or sharks, this is pretty much the mission. Boating and swimming. Alright, so similar to the first mission, I'm giving the 4th mission a pass as well. This one is called the Iron Mule and requires you to steal at least 1 helicopter and then return it to Oscar. Other than driving all the way out to the destination, this one is pretty well packed full of things you'll need to do, and it's going to keep you busy. So not really any added fluff here. Okay, so the 5th mission in this job is called Ammunition. The parameters for this mission are the following: steal a helicopter, pick up at least 1 crate from a ship, and then drop it off at a checkpoint. That's it. This mission itself should only take you about 2 or 3 minutes to complete, and although it is one of the quicker missions, it's made a whole lot longer due to this. You're basically just staring at a cutscene for about 2 minutes. flying to a drop-off point and listening to Oscar. This, my friends, is the epitome of fluff. Now, if this is your first time doing this mission, this is a cool little scene to be taking in and listening to what Oscar has to say. However, imagine this is your 20th or 30th time doing this job. Think about the 2 minutes of joy you'll be experiencing each and every time you kick this mission off. Alright, I'm going to wrap all this up with the finale, and by now you probably already know where I'm going to be going next. Yes, the actual shooting and taking down of the Titan. To be honest, I can't really remember a more frustrating part of a video game mission than what you're about to see next. And to be clear, even when I was performing this for the very first time, I was like, wow, this is taking a very unnecessarily long time. And it did. And it does. And it will. I cringe every time this mission kicks off because for what amounts to approximately 4 very long minutes, all you'll be doing is holding down your fire button and aiming at an aircraft. And pro tip here, don't worry about taking out any other aircraft or submarine missiles. Just ignore everything else that's going on and concentrate on taking out the Titan. Trust me, the more energy you spend on other things happening in this phase of the game, the longer it's going to take for the Titan to be shot down, which is already a very long time. I mean, I get it. We need to shoot down a plane. I like it. It's a great idea, and the cinematics are amazing. But doing this activity for 4 minutes, when you're doing nothing else but holding down your fire button and aiming at a moving plane? Trust me, this is going to be the longest 4 minutes of your life. It's just so not needed and becomes even more frustrating knowing that the only reason it's taking you so long is because Rockstar had a time constraint on this whole mission and they needed to extend it. The bottom line here, folks, is that the Titan job in Oscar Guzman Flies Again turns out to be a collection of 6 very promising missions with a lot of great ideas and content that has, in essence, been diluted and, in my opinion, ruined by AGL, or the added, unnecessary fluff. Alright, so that's my friends. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like this video and want to help out, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. Does anyone else feel the same way I do? Or maybe I'm just way off base here and have no idea what I'm talking about, which may very well be the case. As always, drop a comment below and let everyone know. Until next time, be happy, well, safe,